Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with the one and only Ricky Hatton. Ricky, good to see you. Chloe Watson in for the European title against someone she knows very well. How do you game plan for someone that is familiar with her?
No, I think it's both fighters know each other's games. They've done plenty of rounds with each other, So I think me and the opposite corner have got to think, what can we do a little bit different here, in order to give the advantage. I think the fact that we're used to sparring together, and the spars have always gone like a certain way. Chloe on the front foot, Jasmine on the back foot, and that. But I've got to think to myself, what's he thinking in the opposite corner, and he'll be thinking what am I thinking in the opposite corner. What can we do differently to try and throw him out the stride or anything like that? So it's got to be interesting, but it's a fight that we've done a lot of work together, but it's been in the making for quite a time now. It's been cancelled, then purse bids fell through, and then Chloe got injured, and then and we should have been fighting Maisie Rose, and Jasmine beat Maisie Rose, and it's been a horrible 12 months. But Jasmine has been probably the number one contender now for a few months, and it's just dragged for the pair of them, which has been a nightmare to be honest. But it's finally on now, and the good thing is they both got this at short notice. About 4 weeks ago it got dropped on them, but they've. Chloe's been in the gym. She's been improving. She's been sparring. She's been, she really has. She's not had the rounds in the ring, but she's in the gym. She stayed dedicated and improved massively. But looking at it from social media, Jasmine has done the same. They've stayed at it. They've been in the gym. They've been in the same boat as us, just waiting for the phone call. And thankfully we got it, and they've both got it. They couldn't have got it on a bigger stage than what Saturday is.
I want to ask you about Campbell Hatton. I saw you put out a tweet on social media, I think it was an Instagram post on social media saying, look, he's done the training in, he's ready for something now. What's the latest with Campbell? And he's been training with you, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been training with me now, to be honest with you. He's going to go on a couple of ticket deals and a couple of small hall shows, just to prove that he's still got the fire and the desire. I know he has now. He didn't at first. That's the second fight. I thought he won the second fight. Not saying it was a bad result, but I thought he lost the first one. Definitely thought he lost the first one, but I thought he did enough in the second one. But more importantly, it improved. But Campbell took it hard, really struggled, and it's took me a while to get him back on track. Me and his mum, we've had to have the sit down and the conversation with him, put an arm around him, and explain: do you want it now or do you not want it? And he does want it now, to be honest with you. But if you look at him on his social media, he's losing weight, he's sparring now, he's fetching the weight down. In a few more weeks, I expect to announce a fight date for him, and hopefully he can have a couple of fights, couple of 6-rounders, or a 6-rounder and 8-rounder, and then we'll go back and get him an English or an area title shot. And he's got plenty of that, Campbell, and I think he showed that in them 2 fights that he lost. But he took the second one hard, a little bit of stick on social media here, there, and everywhere, which is to be expected. And he has took it hard, but he's back on track now.
Ricky, just want to ask you, look, obviously a big occasion last week in the form of Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Those press conferences captured everyone's eye. What did you think about that moment where Conor Benn got struck with an egg?
I thought it was quite funny, actually. I mean, I am team Ben. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Guy'd have done that. It's a little bit disrespectful. I don't think Nigel would have done it. I certainly don't think Conor would have done it. But I did find it quite amusing, if I'm not going to lie. But I've not spoken to Conor and Nigel for a bit, to be honest, but I will do at some point. But I just think it's, as long as Conor doesn't take the biscuit, do you know what I mean? Because I think it's clear what Eubank Jr. is up to, trying to ruffle his feathers and get under his skin, and I think, I think he's got good people around him. He's got a great trainer in his corner, Tony Sims, and he's got his dad with the wealth of knowledge he's got. They'll know how to keep Conor, feet on the ground and nice and calm. But it makes good for the it's good for the build up, innit? Let's have it right. That's boxing nowadays. If someone's not turning the table up, or someone's not cracking an egg, or somebody's not pushing and shoving, it's the boxing has changed so much, and I think that was just another incident. I think Conor's just got to smile, let it go over his head. It won't affect ultimately what happens in the fight, and that's what he's got to remember.
What about the moment where Eubank Jr. threatened Nigel Benn if obviously in the fracas in the moment of that egg strike that he went to go for him, but that's a younger guy, I guess, going for a legend in the sport. And you're one of them yourself. How would you have felt if you were in those shoes in that moment?
I think I think the opposite. I don't think Nigel will lose his hand. I think Eubank Jr might caught for it, but no, yes. I suppose it is a little bit of disrespectful, but listen, unless, I don't think it's mainly, with any malice by Eubank Jr. I think, we all know what the score is now. About, it's all about selling tickets or getting a like or getting a retweet. You got to take everything with a pinch of salt, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I said, the old school will say that's a bit disrespectful. I go more down the line. It's our sport these days. It is what it is.
I want to ask you about the rehydration clause. 170 on the day. We don't know what the time is for that 170, but how do you feel that will impact Eubank Jr against Conor Benn?
This is the first time I've heard of a rehydrate clause, to be honest. I couldn't even tell you what it is, if the truth be known.
Well, Eubank Jr says that he rehydrates 14 pounds, so that's a 10 pounds gap, meaning that it's 4 pounds he can't rehydrate. So
he can only go up to, very similar to what Canelo did with our Matthew, to be honest with you. The fight was made at a catch weight, and he couldn't put so much weight on overnight. I can't answer, I don't think Chris Eubank Jr or his dad or whoever's, behind, I don't think they'd have accepted it. If it couldn't be done, I think they're not going to accept the fight if there was the slightest little risk, involved. I don't think they've accepted it, to be honest with you. So the fact that they have I don't see it being a problem. Yeah.
With that said, how does the fight go? How does Conor Benn win if you're backing him?
I think Conor Benn's got to keep a cool head. He's got to be. His dad was very gun ho, very aggressive. Threw everything to the wind. Where Conor, is a little bit more patient, a little bit more skillful, and goes in behind the jab a little bit more. When I used to just come in. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Conor's a long way off his dad, and he needs to tick a lot more boxes. But I think Nigel will agree with me. He has a lot of, he's got a good boxing ability as well, and he's got to be aggressive. Of course he has, but he's got to use that finesse and be a little bit clever in his approach. And I think if he does that, but listen, he is up against it. He's going up in levels against going up in levels. He's never fought anyone like at the level of a Eubank Jr. He's never fought anyone. Eubank Jr. has fought when he fought Billy Joe Saunders and Liam Smith. Conor's fought no one near them at his own weight, let alone going up 2 weights. So it is a massive ask for Conor. But I've been close to the Benns for a good few years. I know what drive and determination and will his dad has, and even though Conor hasn't got that experience his dad has at the minute, he's got every bit of that will and desire and self-belief and confidence in a minute. And when somebody has got the self-belief and confidence that Conor Benn has, that is a hard man to beat. Doesn't matter him moving up 2 weights and that. And listen, upsets have happened. There was a little fat bastard who fought Kosciuszko a few years ago that no one gave a chance to. And, look what I did, So it's not beyond the realms, but it is a big ask for Conor, isn't it? Yeah.
Very last thing, look, you said about Matthew Hatton when he fought Canelo, he had a rehydration clause put on him, and Canelo would have obviously been a naturally bigger man. How did Matthew feel that he was detrimented by that fight, and how big of a ask do you think it is for Conor Benn?
He took a lot of stick in the fight. Canelo, unloaded a lot of him, but Matthew's very, very tough, very good defensively. And he got through it. And at the time, Conor Benn, beg your pardon, Canelo was blasting everyone out. So have a points loss on your record is incredible, to be honest with you. So it depends. I don't think Chris Eubank would have accepted it if he didn't think. If he thought it was any slightest little thing at risk, I think they'd have just said no. But yeah, that's it basically. Yeah.
Have you enjoyed the back and forth between Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom?
It is, yeah. To be honest with you, it's the same, isn't it? Whether it's Eddie and Ben, or whether it's Conor and Chris, or whether it's Tyson Fury or John Fury and everything like that. Now it's just is what it is with our game now. To be honest with you, I find it quite amusing. To be honest with you, and listen, that's what sells fights. That's what gets retweets. That's what gets likes. And stuff like that. So nothing surprised me now. I find it quite amusing. You know what I mean? When I think when me and Mayweather had our weigh-in and we just put our heads on each other, and that was seen as wow a few years ago. Now that'd be handbags at 10 paces, wouldn't it? But,
Ricky, pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
Mate.